Hey everyone, and welcome back to Tuntum Network. Today we are looking into a huge industry that affects millions of people across Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, the used car import market. It's a booming business on the continent, and it's interesting how it's helping our transport system on one hand and hurting us on the other hand. So right off the bat, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to take you into where all these cars come from, where the benefits are going, and how this impacts the African economy. And trust me, it's not what you might expect. But first, be kind to subscribe to the channel and click on the notification bell for more of my videos. And now, let's get into it. Africa is the destination for about 40% of global used light-duty vehicle exports. Yes, we take on all that every year. And you want to know why, ladies and gentlemen? It's because they're affordable than the brand new models, and for many people, it's the only way to own a car. Used cars provide a more accessible option for transportation in Africa. Now, these cars are often sourced from countries like Japan, Germany, and the United States, South Korea, and in recent times from the Middle East, ladies and gentlemen, and now even from China. They are bought and shipped to major ports in Africa where they are taken by dealers or individuals who put them back to shape and then back on the road or put them up for sale, ladies and gentlemen. But while this might seem like a win-win situation for Africans and the countries of origin, there is a lot more going on behind the scenes. Take, for instance, countries like Japan, USA, Canada, and Germany. They have used our countries as a junkyard. I mean, a junkyard for years, whilst making huge profit of it. These cars are often no longer in demand in their home markets. So selling them to Africa is a lucrative way to recycle them. So I decided to look into the top 10 African countries that import the most used cars on this continent, which brands they mostly import, and which countries do the importation and the revenue we send to them. And now, these are the biggest players in the trade. And without searching even too deep, Nigeria pops up as the largest market for used cars in Africa. So Nigeria is the number one importer of used cars in Africa. They alone imported nearly $700 million worth of used cars in 2023. Kenya is number 2, South Africa is number 3, Ghana is 4th on the list, Tanzania, Uganda, Ethiopia, Angola, the Ivory Coast, and then Senegal, in that order. The top 10 African countries in 2023 combined for over $3 billion worth of used cars imports. Ladies and gentlemen, that's equivalent to the government budget of Niger, Burkina Faso, and Mali in the same year, 2023. That's how much money we send overseas every year. And that's excluding the importation of brand new cars, because that sends the figures through the roof. South Africa leads in the importation of brand new cars in Africa, for your information. In the year 2023, they imported over $1.1 billion worth of new cars. Now, here is the problem. Every continent is producing either their indigenous cars or international cars locally for their internal market. I mean, every single continent has one popular car produced on that continent, and then they import certain volumes from overseas, except for Africa. We don't have one single popular locally made car on this continent. Not even one, ladies and gentlemen. We have indigenous car companies trying to move up in the African market, but they are not even known or recognized or patronized as much from our own people. It appears no matter the prices or quality, the traditional African will not risk buying the locally manufactured cars. It's so hard to raise money from within, but we are too quick to send money away. And so year in, year out, we empower foreign producers of these cars whilst our local brands suffer. The governments of Africa have equally contributed to the non-performance of our locally produced cars, ladies and gentlemen. Do you know that it's a common practice in all African countries to provide every form of assistance to a foreign car manufacturer that wants to assemble cars in Africa? But we won't commit same energy to the local brands. They go so far as giving them tax reliefs and holidays to encourage them to come over, but will ensure taxes on local manufacturers are paid. And for these reasons, ladies and gentlemen, it's been an uphill task for local producers to grow. As a smart person anywhere in Africa, when you see what Trump is trying to do with tariffs, it should make you want to concentrate on boosting your local production. We continue to look down on our local products and exalt the foreign. The world is exporting everything to Africa, and we export only raw materials. It looks like they don't really need our finished goods. And why is that, ladies and gentlemen? Japan, US, Canada, and South Korea have built a whole portfolio of money with goods they are not meant to be sold in their countries to Africa. What are we doing about this? And what are we doing for ourselves? Many of these cars are old and emit high levels of pollution, contributing to environmental challenges on our continent. And we just seem like we don't care, except for the revenue government makes from the importation. In 2024, Africa imported over 1.5 million used cars. These figures seem to go up every year. Currently, there are too many African countries where more than 60% of all the cars used in their countries were bought used. In fact, most cars come in salvaged from a fatal accident. We import salvage ambulances and buses and convert them into public commercial transportation. We have at this point mastered restoring salvage cars to roadworthy levels, but not building it from the scratch. We are not building brands, ladies and gentlemen. We don't have one big international brand for cars, computers, phones, or television. We are rather proud to be associated with these foreign brands. But for your information, ladies and gentlemen, these are the indigenous car brands manufactured in Africa even now. Innocent Vehicle, Nigeria, that is one of them. Kantanka Automobiles, Ghana. Mobius Motors in Kenya, Wallis Car in Tunisia, Birkin Cars in South Africa, Kira Motors in Uganda, and Nord Automobile in Nigeria. Then we also have indigenous African electric car makers like Optimal Energy in South Africa, Phoenix Motors in Kenya, Basiga in South Africa, and Jet Motors in Nigeria. In spite of all this, ladies and gentlemen, we hear some countries are starting to take action. For instance, in Kenya and Rwanda, they have implemented age restrictions on imported used cars to encourage cleaner and safer vehicles, which is also something Ghana is doing. So, ladies and gentlemen, something has to be done, but these are still not enough. We have a long way to go. What do you think, folks? Should African countries focus more on developing our car manufacturing industries, or are used car imports a necessary solution for now? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And thank you for watching today's episode. If you enjoyed this video, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to give a thumbs up, share it to your friends, and subscribe to the channel for more insightful content like this. Until I come your way again next time, God bless Africa, God bless you, and it's bye-bye for now.